Ironcaster. Thanks for hopping in, man.
Hey, not a problem.
I apologize in advance for subjecting you to Halo.
Yes, let's say yes. I can't believe I said this. Hello there.
Yeah, I said, it's funny watching the first episode. You get 10 or 20 minutes in, you're like, this isn't terrible. We're moving along. I got a lot of issues. Definitely not going to be a big fan favorite because of some of the contradictions and issues that it created, but not terrible. So
wait, was there actual good content in the first episode? Because I skipped that one.
Only this scene that you're seeing that I have kind of pulled up, just like this sort of like, because it's yeah.
Was it basically just a scene shot for the sake of trailers?
Yeah, it's just it just kind of showcases what they're capable of and how. So it's the first episode start. Well, let's play the recap and see what it does for us here.
Okay.
Oh gosh, what are we watching? What is this nonsense?
Oh, this is their AMC's The Walking Dead after show.
Oh, I don't care about all that. How do I get around all this here? Let me see.
I think it counts as one of the 3 commercials.
Ugh. All right.
So hey, at least I didn't get another terrible ad of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna let it run its course here and try to get around that. So the first episode opens up with like the cheesiness of the people that live on basically the Halo version of Tatooine, which is what my first impression was. Great, another sand planet. And then there's like the little girl there's a bar scene where the old veteran is basically like Quint from Jaws. In my day, we had to face them, and that's how I got this scar, and you don't know how dangerous they are, and all that nonsense. And you set up the fact that the little Asian girl, she's basically an Asian POC, and that she doesn't really bad haircut was one of the nicknames I saw.
So the mullet.
Yeah, it's so bad. So let's add that back. This is the preview, folks. And I don't know who's still with us, but I know some folks had not really watched any Halo, and this will be your crash course, so you will not have to watch episode 1. All right, so this was okay. So she goes out with her little friends, and then there's like alien stuff distant, far away, and all is her friends are getting vaporized. So she's running for cover back to the sand fortress. And then there's the invasion. Now that's Bad Haircut's dad. I forget who I stole Bad Haircut from, but that's a very good name. Mullet Girl. Mm-hmm. He's the general.
I've got it. We can call her Miss Mullet.
Miss Mullet. Excuse me. Miss Mullet races back to where her dad is, and they're all hunkered down for whatever's coming. At this point, the humans are led to believe that the Spartans are evil, and the elites are the ones that show up, and they're basically just vaporizing people. There they are. So these scenes, some shots were good, other shots were horrible. There's a couple fight scenes and stuff that leave a lot to be desired. Stone Loki kind of filled us in last week that nothing looks right. Like it's just all cheesy alien substitute type stuff. Nothing appears to really match up. This is the recap of women everywhere lead the universe. This is the elite breaking in. Oh, yeah, so the humans are so dumb, they all basically hide in the equivalent of the Tatooine basement. So when the elite finds them, he just can murder them all. That was episode 1.
It's a fish shoot.
Yep, fish in the barrel. And then they show up. So you get the cliche Iron Man scene, and then they kind of go to work. That was the old guy. That was Quint. And they kind of have this battle that plays out. And I think Loki was trying to say that the caliber mattered enough that would be why he's so much more effective than the humans' weapons. Because the human weapons were doing nothing. They fly in, and you have 4 or 5 Spartans that take care of basically everybody. And the head nod is, now suddenly the Spartans are not bad. So this was the death of Miss Mullet's dad. Because it was, I don't know about anybody else, I thought it was totally cliche and predictable. And then this is them patrolling Tatooine, and they find this cave where the aliens were, and this sets up this artifact nonsense. Yeah, I don't understand this shot, because the shot implies he's going to attack, but nothing happens because this is Master Chief getting ready to touch the artifact, and then when he touches it, you get this like a EMP effect. Meanwhile, these bigoted aliens, which are not clearly named well, They're called prophets, evidently. Then they have this human that works with them for no explainable reason. Don't quite understand this weird costume or not. I forgot to ask Loki.
She looks like she's wrapped in a hot pocket.
Hot pocket? I'm thinking like a seaweed wrap. Like if you imagine if you went to a sushi place and before they cut it, they wrapped you up inside and like, well, we're gonna close your face now. Hold your breath. A burrito, right? So I don't know what they're called. So I have to ask Loki, like, what's burrito lady's name? There's Master Chief. He touches the thing and we get this crazy, weird blue response. This never happens before. It's thought that maybe it's a weapon, it's whatever. And he basically just has flashbacks. There's Stone Loki. The man, the myth, the legend. How are you, my friend?
Late.
You're not.
I'm
really.
late.
We started early too, so yeah, we did start early just because. And we got people. Adega's still here. He's hanging out. They don't want to sit through all of Halo, so we're giving them a crash course on having to do this, so they won't know. Keely Chow said the same. Catching up on the recap, I said the recap was so ridiculously comprehensive. You don't have to watch episode 1. So
I didn't.
It's so absurd how much information is. You're getting basically the entire story. This puts us about 30 minutes or 40 minutes in, with the nonsense of quote the artifact and then the space travel. So basically, Master Chief, he takes Miss Smollett away. He's had a flashback while he touched the relic. We don't know why. It's never explained at this point. And let's see. This was the excuse me, horrible casting and changes Loki broke down for us last week. Now this is the line. Let's see if I can get the captions to come on. Subtitles on. Because this changed everything for me. Watch this shot. I forgot to bring it up last time. Let's see. This is just nonsense because looking for an excuse to cut your friend. Then she says, "Oh, this is the no cloning comment." Where did we get it? Okay, we'll come back to that, I guess. This is the famous takes off his helmet nonsense. Aim up here because, I'm not going to kill you. I don't know why. And he actually says, I don't know. When she asks, why are you doing this? He goes, I don't know. So we don't even get character development. We have no motivations that make any sense whatsoever. And he says, I'm trying to help you. Gives her the gun, all this nonsense. He's basically going to get attacked by his own people who are rallying to kill him and kill her. They surround the ship, and then basically he touches the EMP that saves them. He flies away with Miss Mullet. That's what we're nicknaming her, Loki, Miss Mullet.
Okay.
I thought that was fair. And there was a line in that little recap where she talks about, we don't know what they want. We don't know how to kill them. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, you just had 4 or 5 Spartans take down 19 to 20 of these elites. Like, it's very clear you guys know how to kill them. What kind of moron wrote this stuff? Like, you're contradicting what you did like 20 minutes ago.
Paramount.
Did you pick up on that ridiculousness?
Yeah. And like, there should be what, like 3 waves of Spartan soldiers? There's like 3 phases of them. So there are plenty of Spartans around.
They only show the 4 or 5. Look, I meant to ask you about that. Do we have legions of Spartans, hopefully, throughout the galaxy to try to protect other planets? Otherwise, we're kind of misallocating resources.
In this episode, you get to see all the beds. You see all the beds with the Spartans in them, and then you see the one missing, which obviously we'll talk about. The fact that's in this episode too. But yes, there are hundreds of Spartans.
Totally makes sense, of course. So... all right. So if you know anyone who does not really want to, let's see, watch Halo or sit through the whole thing, just know that the recap's good enough. So basically in like a minute and a half, you pretty much cannot have to watch the episode 1. It saves you an hour of your life. You're welcome. So we start off in space and we get a flashback sequence. Now I will tell you, for those of you who have not seen episode 1, this shot is a better establishment of what Master Chief and the Spartans have gone through some sort of genetic modification. But Loki, you pointed out that the lore is that they have all this stuff done to their heads and electrodes and things like that. So can you elaborate a little bit on like how do they become a Spartan?
First of all, it's training from when they're kids. When they're recruited, they're like 8 years old. and trained from men. They are replaced by clones so that their parents never find out that their kids have been abducted by the UNSC. They are put through rigorous training from 8 years old until they are teenagers, where they are then put through a procedure that will give them enhanced muscle, enhanced, almost unbreakable bones, enhanced musculature, enhanced intelligence. All of this comes with the chance that either it will rip your body apart from the inside out, or you will end up being a vegetable, a paraplegic. Any of those wonderful things could happen, and does happen to a third of Halsey's Spartans.
Okay. So we get a flashback sequence that is from, we'll say, younger years, because it's not obviously not a child. And you get basically a flashback sequence that is extremely cringy. All we get is that little bit of scarring. You see the empty bed. You don't really know what's going on, and quickly we learn. See if we can get it to fast forward a little bit. That his friend is outside. So this is the friend. This is a kind of the new Hollywood trope, in my opinion. We want to introduce a new character, but we realize we've not told you anything about that character. So what we do is we give you a little flashback sequence that kind of tells you something, and then later on it'll make sense on why we told you that. So that's pretty much what this character is. He's basically leaving the training camp. There's a little bit of some minor conflict and some sort of weird, terrible move of, I'll give you 5 minutes. I don't quite understand.
This is Master Chief's introduced Black Friend.
Yeah, we get token Black Friend, who will basically be, you can't tell here, but he is his nickname is going to be not Dave Chappelle. So his name is not Dave Chappelle.
So
not
I'm
Dave Chappelle.
I'm not the only one who
later.
picked up on that then.
No, I picked up on it in Ghostbusters Afterlife, because that's the first time I saw it, and I literally paused and looked at my wife, and I kind of leaned over to my daughter's boyfriend. I says, like I whispered, "Is that Dave Chappelle?" And of course, it's not. He's got a completely different name, and it's a long name, and I do not remember it. But yeah, he's definitely not Dave Chappelle.
They don't even bother making him sound like him later. It's like, you know, this kid is like, Master Chief, we're gonna go and do this, and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna run, and you need to come with me. And then later he's like, "What's up, Master Chief?" And you're like, he doesn't look the same. He doesn't sound the same. Why are you guys messing with me? But they did that with John, so
yeah. It's just a lot of, I want to say token black guy, but it's worse because they just don't care about any characters. Like I would be more judgmental if this was the only one that was mishandled, but sadly they're all sort of mishandled. So basically that's it. He's going to leave. John gives him 5 minutes, and we learn later he's going to be hunted down. Meanwhile, back aboard the ship. Let's see if we can get this to catch up. I should have taken Loki's link. He probably has one for me. You got a little private chat version of it, so it won't do it for me. We'll do that. We'll switch it out whenever I get my link. Do that for me, buddy. Anyway, they're basically on a ship, and so Miss Mullet is there. They're flying. She's seeing bright colors. Oh, the other contradiction, Loki, if you guys pick up on this, maybe not from the recap, so maybe you would have had to sit through all of episode 1. She is dying to get off that planet. So when she's out drug hopping with her little friends, she talks about, I can't wait to get off this planet. And they're like, oh, you'll never actually leave. You'll miss us too much or whatever. And then whenever all this is transpiring, she's a complete witch. Absolute nightmare to deal with. And it's kind of this weird contradiction I didn't totally pick up on, or at least I didn't comment on last time. And it makes all the difference in the world. Oh, geez. Hold on here. Previously on, I've got to redo everything here to make sure I've got. Let's do sound off and deal with the copyright nonsense. We can just kind of describe things.
Did you catch the fact that while they're traveling through hyperspace, he goes to explain science. We're gonna get some science in a sci-fi series, and she goes, "Nope, shut up. Don't ruin this for me. I don't need you mansplaining to me about the science of space travel. Just shut up."
Yeah,
let me enjoy it.
There was a lot of that checkbox like things of what felt like things we could not allow within this show. Like I'm looking at like, okay, we can't have a scene with like too many male characters. We have to like put in the diversity. We have to make sure we check all the boxes as we go. Like it's a sci-fi show by numbers.
Yes, and that's
Definitely.
Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not playing no